I'm planting Texas 1015 sweet onions here in our raised bed, where last year we actually rotated the bed out by planting marigolds and petunias as a cover catch crop. And record keeping is very important in gardening, and that's why we keep records each year of our beds, whether they're ground beds, raised beds, vegetables, and annuals, so we know what we've planted year after year so we can rotate them. And we've talked to you often about the importance of rotating vegetables, and that's because if you plant the same family in the same spot year after year after year, you build up this soil pest problem, whether it's insects or diseases. So rotation by family is truly important. And let me tell you about some of the traditional vegetable families so you'll know which ones to rotate. Well, in the tomato family, you have tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, and eggplants, and that's why you don't want to follow with any of those on a yearly basis. Rotation between families, so that means we could come in with the onion family like I'm putting here, and that includes onions, shallots, leeks, chive, and garlic. So those would be okay to rotate with, just not within the same family. The beet family would be beet, Swiss chard, and spinach. The cold crop family would be cabbage. It's really our biggest one. It's cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, bok choy, collards, kale, kohlrabi, mustard, radish, rutabaga, and turnip. So again, you really have to know some of those aren't so common that we think about rotating them within that family, so that's why it's important. Legume family would be beans, peas, cowpea, peanuts. The carrot family would be carrot, obviously, celery, celeriac, and parsley, so not following with each of those year after year. And then the lettuce family would be lettuce, chicory, and endive. So we need to follow, again, between different families, and I think that will help you out in the long run and reduce that problem. Now, usually when we talk about rotation, we're talking about every 2 years, and on a yearly basis, you'll still have some benefit, but it's best to do it on a 2-year basis to get the best benefit from it. Now, we're also talking about annual flowers, and probably some of the most common ones in Oklahoma we have problems with is vinca, petunias, and pansies because of a phytophthora disease. So do not follow with those 3 annual flowers. And it's really harder with annuals because I don't have a grouping of family that's so traditional. It's usually best to rotate them by genera or by plants that we know have disease problems like the vinca, petunia, and pansies with the phytophthora. Now, in some other states, we've heard about them planting impatiens in the same spot year after year, and sometimes that's easy for us to do here because of their shade tolerance. So they've had some problems with verticillium wilt, so I'd encourage you not to put impatiens in the same bed. And it's easy to do because we find plants, we love the color, and they do great in the site, but again, it'll get you problems both with annual flowers and vegetables. So I'd encourage you to keep records, think about what you're planting year after year to avoid some of those problems, and give it a shot and try it and see how it turns out in your planting schemes.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.